So I thought I'd make a really quick video with an update of this week's book. And the material was supposed to be this one, the Scarlet Veil by Stephenie Meyer, and it's supposed to be a gothic vampire kind of book with a bit of romance in it. And the only issue that I'm having with this book is the fact that the writing is so cringe. And I don't want to say that about someone's work, because they've obviously worked really hard to put this book on the market and they've put in a lot of research and time into it, but the reading is so difficult. Like I haven't been able to make it past chapter 4 because of the writing. And normally when you're reading, like when I was reading like Lucinda Riley, or when I was reading Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen, you've got Kristen Hanna, the writing just flows through them. But in this book, I struggle so much to get through the writing because there's a lot of repetition. Like, this author will say something and then repeat it every single time. Like, in the first chapter, on the first page, Jean-Luc looks at me like I had lost my mind. Perhaps I have lost my mind. And then you've got it in another chapter, like on another chapter, and all three have been known to cure a soul ache. A soul ache. And I'm like, why are you repeating every single thing you say? And then again, chapter 3, something stirs in his eyes at the question. Something stirs in the yard. It doesn't make sense. Not just the writing in that sense, like the context also doesn't kind of make sense to me, because obviously the girl is a supernatural being of some sort. She has had like a bit of a past, but you want to gradually build up to this kind of, to give some background into the character. But like here we have the character going into a situation where she's immediately going through trials, and we are coming across mythological creatures on the first, like in the first chapter. Like I feel like those, if you have mythological animals or whatever, you need to build up to it. It's not like we can understand in the first chapter what these things are, and we've been introduced to like 6 different characters within the first chapter. It takes time. I feel like it should take some time to build up to it, and that's what this book didn't do. I've actually like popped it back on my bookshelf because I didn't want to finish it, and I just don't see myself finishing it anytime soon. Maybe like if I force myself, maybe. But if the writing continues like that, I don't want to. So instead of this black and red book, I've got myself this black and red book. My favorite cover, as always, this is the Eclipse book by Stephenie Meyer. It's the 3rd book in the Twilight Saga, one of my favorite series. Eclipse is unfortunately like my least favorite installment in this series, but the writing, I will say, is heaps better than this book, than this one, because at least Stephenie Meyer makes sense, and her writing isn't complicated. It's written as a teenager would read it. There's no repetition. It's easy to follow along, and she doesn't pause unnecessarily. And you introduce characters step by step, not all at once to throw the reader off, So here I am changing my book this week to Eclipse by Stephenie Meyer instead of reading The Scarlet Veil by Stephenie Meyer. And I'm a lot more excited to start this, although it's going to be a bit of a slow read because I've got other things going on. So yeah, I'll be back with my update on this one.